All right, hi everyone. Welcome to the January 9th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting, Library Board of Trustees meeting. We'll get started. Sam, is there any correspondence?
Yeah.
Public comment.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Mark Gramacher on the select board. I came to tell everyone that we have opened up applications for the charter commission or charter. The select board's looking to review the town, potentially create a town charter, change which boards are elected and appointed, investigating whether to go to town manager versus the town administrator, all of that. So applications are open now for that. We're looking for 7 to 9 people. I think they're due January 27th, and we'll have a meeting on February 4th to pick the individuals for that committee. The expectation is there'll probably be 2 meetings a month for somewhere around 18 months is the current expectation. As I said, there's talk of what boards will be appointed versus elected and things like that. I don't think that it affects something. I don't think it affects the library per se. I think they're by state statute, they're elected, but I'm not 100% certain. So we were told that by someone that went through the process, but I haven't verified it.
Where can people find more information on what
It should be all on the town website now. They don't have.
I got an email today about it.
Today, if you were subscribed to the Civic Plus and all that, so everything should be on there. So.
And in between meetings, how much work is expected?
I don't know how much is between meetings per se. I don't. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it's not really long.
Okay. And what kind of skills are you looking for the committee?
People that are interested in how town functions going forward. So we're looking for all kinds, people that have been involved, people haven't been involved, people want to get involved, right? So you need both sets, because if everyone's already been involved, they think everyone should run the way it's always run, more like, and other people that haven't been involved in government said, why are we doing things this place? So.
Anyone else does anyone have any questions?
We also, the select board has invited all of the boards, if they want to come, have 10 minutes on our agenda sometime, just let us know and we'll schedule you. It doesn't have to be budget related or just in general. You want to update, get on camera for everyone that watches our meetings. Start spreading information back to everyone's welcome.
That's good.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Everyone doesn't know Mark was on this board for many years too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Good luck with the forming of the committee.
Up to the next meeting.
Okay, good. Next is minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from December 12th? There was an edit that
It was just a small typo.
do you want to send that to her? Okay, great, then all set. Outside of the typo, does anyone have any thoughts, questions, changes? Okay.
And
Someone
to accept the minutes as amended.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I have to go back to the agenda now. Okay. The next set of minutes is from the Ray Grande Scholarship Committee. We had our first meeting on January 2nd. Sorry, has everyone had a chance to take a look at those minutes? Any questions? We're gonna talk a little bit about what's going on with it later. Minutes wise, okay.
I'd like to motion to accept the scholarship committee from January 2nd.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, lastly, for minutes, the policy committee minutes from January 6th. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? Any questions, thoughts, comment? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion
To accept the policy committee minutes from January 6th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Good. All right, moving on. Treasurer's report.
All right, state aid, $30,000. So $30,873.96. Gift has $39,348.90. MMDT has $19,302.14. Building gift has $30,057.08. MBLC, grant has $680,044, and the lead has $116,895. And the Barth's ending statement value was $1,693,972.80.
Is
it
the
went
bus
up again.
still on its way out?
Yeah. Currently in good shape.
Okay, Sam, did you let the town know about the lead money or I think we voted on it, yeah, okay. And did they have any feedback about that?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, great. Okay.
And so those are just gonna sit there until they decide to.
They said they're gonna be paying them over the next few years.
Okay, so those accounts will see dwindle over time, or they'll just take it all at once.
I think they're gonna dwindle over time.
Okay.
But they're all interest bearing accounts,
Okay.
so they will also be interest.
That is good. Okay, good for the town.
Good. Does anyone have any questions about the treasurer's report?
Yes.
All right. Moving on to the Friends report.
All right, the Friends did not meet in December, but they sponsored a tree for the tree hunt, which we found. And planning for mini golf is ongoing. So that's in order. That's all I know.
Great. Okay. Any questions for Mira?
They also meet on the 22nd this month. They changed the date.
Okay. All right, building updates.
So as you may have noticed, the inner door of the main entrance broke. We're not really sure how, but it's broken. Eric called Neshoba Security. They came out and their estimate is $2,234.51 to repair it. Eric has requested that the town pay for it, and Ryan approved the request. So I believe Eric created a requisition and was going to contact Neshoba and is waiting. They're just waiting on the parts, basically.
Thank you, Eric.
Yes, thank you, Eric. Yep, so that's it. I have the invoice here, the estimate, if you guys take a look at it. The town's paying.
Thank you for updating that building, repair and maintenance log to include that. Great. Where'd the agenda go here? Anything else to do with the building? Okay. Did that happen before or after the holding the door open by groups that were here?
That was before.
It was before that.
Yeah. We're not sure how it happened. Someone just happened to walk by it and noticed it was, and, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a random thing.
Okay.
It was very windy that day, but it's an indoor.
It's the inner door.
Yeah. All right. Any questions about the building? All right. Mike, you're up. Your report.
I don't have much to report. Bill and I are just trudging along on the audiobooks and, well, doing all the cataloging and stuff. So that's really all I have to say.
Okay. Sam.
Yeah, with the holiday, I don't really have much either.
There's some good news though.
Yeah, and we heard from so the finance group that is reviewing the FY26 budget they've approved my request for a new assistant teen librarian position. Now I have to go before the select board and FinCom on January 21st to discuss that. That'll be at 6:30. And so hopefully if everything goes well with that, then it goes to town meeting for a vote and it passes that town meeting. Then on July 1st, we can choose a new assistant teen librarian for 35 hours a week. And Megan is very happy about that. I've talked to James about it as well. He's interested. And Megan is very interested in having James. So we'll probably post it internally. Yep. And then so that's it. So unfortunately they didn't approve the adult services librarian position I requested. Jim was very nice. He came and talked to me. We sat in my office and we discussed it. He said there's a $4 million deficit in the town.
Yeah.
And so I had met with him a few weeks ago and the rest of the finance team about my request, and I had indicated that he asked me which one I wanted, basically. And I told him the teen librarian position. And I explained to him, it's very busy down here. There's a ton of teens in here every night. And, Megan really needs the help in here, and she's only in person. And so although our adult services librarian position would be very beneficial to the library, we'd rather have the teen position. So he honored my request and
It's great. The fact that we got even one is really
I know.
great with the deficit. So, yeah.
yeah, and I sent out the proposal budget to all of you that Brian sent to all the department heads. We haven't seen it yet.
Yes, keep on going. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, other than that, yeah, it's just we had a library spirit week where we all kind of dressed up and there was a photo put on Facebook. The town staff engagement committee held a holiday party in the multi-purpose room, and me and Mike and Susan and Jeff, we all went to it. It was very nice. They had it catered by Lafora, so it was great. And the winter reading program is about to start. And that's about it. Oh, and I, for my goals, I did, send out a link to the marketing, and programming survey. So,
They emailed you comments.
yeah, I made changes based, I kind of rearranged some of the questions. And, sorry. Yeah. So I rearranged some of the questions. I did see your comment about putting a link to the newsletter, but I wouldn't let me put a link.
Okay. Thanks for trying.
Yeah,
I was hoping it'd be informative as well as.
yeah. So how often do you visit the library is the first question. What are the reasons for your library visits? Do you attend children, teen, adult programming?
But that's how you can only give one answer.
Hmm,
We should change that.
Well, yeah, I can, well, there's multiple, there's a.
Okay.
Tell that
Yeah.
How many programs do you say you attended in 2024? What is your favorite library program? How satisfied are you? What type of adult programs would you like to see the library offer more of? Which form of programming would you prefer? And person, which days of the week, which times, likely are you to recommend library programs to others? I primarily find out library news and updates. What time of day do you prefer library programs? And you have to meet that one. Are you currently subscribed to the library newsletter? You just subscribe to the children's room newsletter, or satisfied with the format of the newsletters? Are you currently subscribed to the town newsletter? Are you currently subscribed to the library's Facebook accounts? Are there any online or other social media platforms you'd like to see the library distribute information on? Would you prefer to see the library offer more print marketing? Do you believe library programs you attend have added value to Williston community? Do you feel the library adequately meets the education needs of your community? Have you attended any other town Williston development programs? So the reason I put that question in there, I want to see how involved people are.
Yeah.
And yeah. What improvements would you suggest to enhance your overall library experience? Any other comments? And how old are you? And this is the only question people don't have to answer. The rest are
Okay.
actually required.
Is there just for, so I just want to say, if everyone has a chance to look at this and maybe give, if anyone has feedback to give, share it with Sam maybe by end of next week. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
That'd be helpful. I just had some in my head. I was like, probably not the best to go through it now. So,
Okay.
yeah, just in terms of, we might shorten it up by combining some of them into, I'm just like with dots. Right, anyway, so that's thoughts. If they're available, if that formatting is available, yeah. But yeah, if everyone could just take a look and get back to Sam by end of next week, that'd be great. Katrina, thank you for already doing that.
And yeah, so I plan to put it out through all the regular channels that we do. I was going to put maybe a flyer with the QR code, maybe at the town clerk's office, and COA. I'll print out some copies as well, some printed copies. Maybe a flyer with, maybe local businesses with a QR code.
Can you get it in the school newsletters?
Yeah, I'll send it to the school. I'll send it to you to put on the mom's Facebook page.
Yeah, if it gets on the Facebook, you can definitely just let us know. We'll share it over.
Yeah.
And the friends.
Yeah, if there's any other avenues you can think of, just
There's multiple pages that could be cross-posted on.
yeah, so that's it. So yeah, so if you have any suggestions, just send it to me.
Will it be
Actually.
included in the email newsletter or sent out separately?
Yeah, I can put it in the newsletter or send it separately, and
in the town.
And so as long as you get it to me before the end, your comments before the end of the month. So Nancy usually wants submissions by the 15th, but she's definitely taking stuff up until like the last day of the month. So
I'm hoping it'll be ready by then and we can even
yeah,
start getting it out there and then, over, if people see it a number of times, maybe the fourth time they'll do it, so.
well, actually, definitely get it to me before the 23rd because I'll be, so so by next.
Next week, so I give you time to react.
Yes,
Okay,
all right, thank you, Sam, for putting that together.
yeah, no problem.
Looking forward to seeing the results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as financially, we're on track. And the rest is just the stats. We have any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Sam about the report? Do not. Okay. All right, moving on to old business. All right, library board retreat and topics. Okay, so Katrina and Sarah and I were chatting yesterday. I was feeling like I'm not sure a retreat right now is worth it or if it's not worth it, like because some been down the pike, but we're not here yet. And so we kind of talked about it and considered that maybe we would do one after the next election, because then we'll have our at least probably one new person who will be engaged and also will want to have some say in that. The governance committee thing is coming, the strategic plan is coming, and now it feels a little bit too early. So I just wanted to open that up to see if anybody is like, no, I really want to do it in March. Otherwise, we will cancel the March one and pick it up maybe in early fall. No, I really want to. Okay, everyone's okay? All right. So we're gonna cancel the retreat in March.
Okay.
Okay. All right, library meeting spaces.
So I sent out Excel sheet with how many times the historical room has been used since June 1st, between June 1st and December 31st. So 158 times, and about 150 of those were patron uses. And then 8 were for staff use.
And it was 16 this past month, for example.
So yeah,
Does patron use, what's the definition of patron use?
so whether or not a patron requested it, or if, like I put it in there, usually I'm the one that put it only. So like if
Like
the
when
friends
we had a
wanted,
meeting there.
yeah, like if we had meetings, if the friends had a meeting in there or something like that.
So there's 158 total that were in there.
Yeah.
Or occurred. And 150 of them were patrons, not meetings that were like overflow.
It was patrons request. So
Can a group request to use that room
yes. So
for
Yeah.
non-history reasons?
yes. Yes.
So it's like an average of 21 per month.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to go over some of this stuff. So while I understand Andy's point of view, all the rooms are very well used and busy, and to divide the search room really is not a feasible option, because you can't really do it in aspect. It doesn't really work that way, and it would have to be a staff entry thing. Also, to actually divide the room with the divider, I wouldn't trust patrons to do it. And they're big doors that have to be moved. So it would require, I would really prefer staff do it over patrons. Also, they're not soundproof. And so depending on what groups are going on in there, like Food Addicts right now is meeting in the historical, and the Dungeons and Dragons is happening on the other side of the church room. So it's very loud, and they're an anonymous group. There's also a grief and support group that meets in there. So there are groups that it wouldn't really work. And yeah, so and also the issue that was brought up about patrons or high schoolers being turned away, that's not a real issue. It's not really a thing that happens. It's really a non-issue in my opinion. I understand that, they, want to protect the historical room but patrons are not being turned away. And the room, when it was in the other library, was used for the same purposes. When I created basically the design of this building, I designed that room to be a conference room, a meeting space room. It was not just the historical room. That's why there's a table in there. That's why there's a TV in there. That's why the room is on aspect. So,
So question.
Yeah.
Because we know that our rooms are being used, we know there's a lot of overflow, we know that's not being used if there's other rooms available and things like that, right? I know, I appreciate the spreadsheet. Can you put in there, like you do for Sturts and Murray, can you add to that spreadsheet going forward? I know I just asked you to do this like a week ago and but the spreadsheet that we have that shows what groups we're using during which times, whether they're library groups or external groups or Can you do that for the historical one too?
Sure.
And part of the reason for that would be not just like, how is it being used for our own purposes, but when the town says we don't have any spaces and we can kind of show we're using this and this is how, right? This is what's happening all the time. We're at our limit, we're maxed out.
So we definitely, when we built the library, we put more rooms in and it was going to add meeting room spaces as a town for a whole. And since then, decisions have made for other buildings that have actually reduced the number of meeting rooms for the town to use. And so the information you put in here helps us to have that holistic discussion. That's our goal.
yeah, I mean, this was 6 months worth of data, so
Yeah.
that's why.
Yes, yes,
But,
that's for a week ago, so yeah.
yeah, moving forward, we can definitely do it.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I think that'd be helpful for everybody to have data to talk about everything. So, yeah, right. All right, thanks, Sam.
And also in terms of answering questions from patrons who are concerned about how that room is being used, we can have more idea about when the timing and like
Yeah.
how long the meetings are and when could the room be accessed by people who just want to go in there. So having data means we can hold a better conversation. So, yeah.
Speaking of meeting spaces, one of the things we talked about yesterday, Katrina, I think you had wanted to ask about, for the, this report. Right, the one we were just talking about? Yeah.
Okay.
If it's possible, if we have the information to put in how many people are in some of them, because we were going back and forth.
We already have the library program ones because you have it on the other report.
Right. Is it possible to know how many people are using the spaces?
You know, on the reservation form, it's required to estimate how many people will attend. So you have that data point.
So Susan creates these reports and it takes her a very long time to create them.
Okay.
So, I mean, if it's absolutely necessary, yes, but I mean, it's kind of an extra thing that's already data that we provide.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's something you really want, we can ask her to do that, but I think it's just an extra thing that's not really.
Okay, if we come up with
We'll look at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Does anyone have any other questions about that? About the rooms? Not right now. Okay, new business. We have that now in two different pairs about the Ray Grande Scholarship. Last year, it came up that because it's a small town and we all know people, that we want to try to find try to be as unbiased as possible when people are applying for the scholarship. There are some people that we just know really well and we might have an inherent bias towards or against because of that. So Wendy last year suggested coming up with a rubric, which Stephanie did an awesome job of coming up with and Chris updating. We have actually two different ones. One is for the essay component and one is for the interview component. Either way, we're gonna have the deadline being March 9th for the applications. And so these don't have to be perfect until then. But we thought we'd bring them up and just see what people thought of them. This was part of it was part of the packet, right? Yeah. Has anyone had a chance to look at them? good, yeah, okay. So we already know what we think because we did it. What are some other people's thoughts?
How have people used these kind of rubrics for, I mean, scoring essays, one thing. That one looks more like we've seen before. For interviews, has anyone had experience with it?
So this is similar to one that we use for presentations, which is not interviews. But it's worked, something like this has worked well for the purpose of eliminating bias when we're like scoring, but able to do it without kind of making it personal or trying. I know we can't really do anything anonymously, especially if we're interviewing people, but in terms of that, we use something similar. It's the value rubric. So it's one of the like high school and college open OER, open education resources that you can pull from. And all we really did with that was change the language. So it's like, you know, are they making eye contact while they speak with us? Are they kind of putting their best foot forward? And the only thing I would say, having used it for those presentations, is I like that it allows kind of an X factor, like you're scoring and you're making it, you eliminate the bias or reduce the bias. But then if you kind of have a feeling one way or another, you can check in with somebody else that did those numbers and say, here's the reason I went with the 3. Why did you go with the 2? And I've only found that it's helpful for me afterwards if I have to defend a certain score, or not defend, but conversationally at least explain why I arrived at that. Then it makes me kind of more open-minded to a score somebody else might have, or even firmer in my belief in whatever I had originally gone. But you know, it's not to watch just this kind of scoring grid and how that's spent.
And in terms of like the patterns we're seeing in an interview, how do these translate to the job that is being asked of these students? Like, are these reasonable to score a student who will be coming for a scholarship position on?
The reason I thought yes is because the more complicated one we eliminated for the written portion, because that was not a very specific prompt. It's kind of like, you know, write and apply and respond. To be more complicated, or you know, more layered for the interview. The reason it would correspond well is because it's just kind of different language for, is this person putting their best foot forward, which I think is going to apply. And we haven't come up with standard interview questions yet. That's one of the things that we were saying. So we can almost reverse engineer the questions that then this would work very well. If there are questions that need to be asked anyway, but make sure that the specific questions we're going to ask in an interview, allowing room for it also to be organic if it's going to be sort of a conversation, the specifics 4, 5, whatever metrics we want to hit, I think we could to make sure that they do elicit a response that's robust that we could assess in this way.
And then in terms of the job requirements, I would like to hear from Sam and Mike about how does this, the higher score here has very specific delivery and eye contact and requirements, but may not be necessarily aligned to the scholarship job. Or at least, I mean,
Yeah.
they are a
No, I
public
don't
speaking job, like a public facing job. So I would think scoring higher on these would be good, but I don't.
They're a public facing job, they don't have much interaction with the public.
Okay. So it doesn't mean necessarily that a student shouldn't be considered for
Right.
this based on the interview scoring lower.
I mean, we had 3 candidates last year, and I mean, to be honest, they all 3 were fairly shy.
Yeah.
So
And they have years that
I
put it on.
don't think any of them will get it.
I didn't do the interviews last year, so I can't speak to how that happened.
But they did well in their job.
Right.
So,
They did well, but the interviews, they were not, they didn't have a whole lot to say, so it was.
I've been doing this for 10 years, they've never had a lot to say.
Yeah.
So,
Right, so we're still kind of like pulling teeth to get them, so I think questions need to be first. Well, not, I don't know, but the questions definitely need to be in place
Yeah.
so that there's definite things to, but when, you know, they give a 1-sentence answer and that's
Yeah.
it, then, I mean, they might not do well on this,
Right.
but
what I found with presentations, because again, I don't want it to ever, I don't ever want it to be unfair to anyone who's shy or has any sort of problem interacting in that way. But the macro questions of like, did they understand the purpose and audience of what they're doing? Did they present them? Did they put thought into this? Are their language choices deliberate? Even if that's not true, sometimes if you get a good feeling, you lean one way versus another. But I think it does make a lot of sense to have the questions.
I mean, I think this is fair, and if everybody's getting, 2s and 3s, that's not a problem.
No,
right?
not
It
at
just
all.
Gives
Right,
you
yeah.
something to, a frame of reference to compare to.
Are they seeing these,
No,
right? It
No.
was just for us, so it almost, of course it matters, but if, as long as they're not seeing it, because I could see where that would be very overwhelming, like, here's what we expect of you.
Right,
It's
I
not
mean,
what we expect of you.
we're not asking them to put a presentation together, so some of, it's just like, they're coming in for an interview, many, it's probably their first, it's a job which is probably more geared for an introvert anyway, so like, there's all these things that are like,
Also, you're giving them an opportunity to have maybe the first interview they've ever
yes,
had.
no, it's absolutely good practice for them. And if they did come out after the fact and say, is there, can you review why I didn't get the scholarship or whatever, is there something I did, and you'd have the scores to go over and the responses to the questions, so that's the whole point of this.
And I think, remembering from last year, what narrowed it down, I believe, from 5 to 3 was more the essay.
it was, yes, yeah. that's-
Because there were a couple essays that just looked completely generic and
Right.
didn't mention the library at all. And
That's right.
like they were college essays that were just
Yeah,
submitted for that. So I think, yeah, so this is absolutely important, but so is the rubric for them.
Okay.
Like the essay was the first cut.
And I think if, maybe the process will change, but like, you've reviewed essays first and invited people back did they all get an interview or only?
The ones who we chose, so the essays, the ones for like the essays from,
Came for an
came
interview?
for an interview, and then we ended up choosing all 3.
Was ChatGPT a concern last year for the essays?
Yeah.
Not that I'd be able to tell, but they, well,
It's a good
It's
question.
it is, I mean, none of them sounded. I would say 2 of them sounded like they were in who would want? That
Right.
weren't so polished,
Well, yeah.
but one could go be, right?
Right, me,
Mhm.
yeah, but again, I
Yeah.
don't know, that kind of fits with more of the integrity versus.
Yeah,
Do we explicitly say them?
you can, you should, gosh, do you have to?
We do. I'm
I'm in college.
Still a very.
The worst syllabi is I'm currently writing.
Okay,
I think we're overcomplicating it by getting to that though, like.
Yeah.
I feel like that's maybe where the interview is the most important, like the connection and the, these skills that. If this person is truly passionate about getting the scholarship, then these things become easier to see in an interview and answer to questions.
so using these as kind of our basis for now, I think maybe our next goal is to kind of, with Sam also, come up with some questions, like standard questions that we would ask every person, and then see whether or not this rubric reflects on the kinds of things we're looking for in terms of those. Makes sense? Yeah, okay.
And even this one can be reduced so much further, but just the
Yeah.
idea of one thing, I'm sure Katrina's seen it, but like with this, or with this age group, do you understand who you'll be interacting with, even if it's not, right? Even if you said that super.
Yeah, I mean, a patron might ask them a question and our instruction to the scholarship kid would be, please refer them to the staff.
Mhm.
We wouldn't have them, go find a book for a patron or do any of the things that staff do. We
Right.
just say, please, if anyone asks you a question, please just ask them to talk to the staff.
But you'd rather them say that than like, LOL, we'll find somebody or whatever.
Okay,
It's a first job for many of them, so.
yeah. Introverts are, that's right. Okay. Good first step.
Yep,
Go back and, yeah, okay.
and you said,
Oh, in the application, I was gonna share that. It looks just like last year's.
Yeah.
I'm going to gather, yeah, do you have it? Okay, good. I don't know if you can read that from here, have people have a chance, did you share, was this part, okay, everyone have a chance to look at it, any comments or feedback on this?
yes, if you scroll up.
That's the wrong one.
This is 2024.
This is one you sent me.
I took the revised one though,
All right, well, this one is definitely meant for next year.
yeah, let me find that.
Graduation year 2024.
The oops, wrong form. Wait, let me make sure that the one I sent you is, yes.
Telling you, emails are doing weird things right now.
Do you want me to send you the link right now? Yeah,
You
okay.
did send it.
I think we changed the dates. We added a line, kind of at the bottom saying, because there was this bit about you may need to lift stuff and carry stuff, that at the bottom we said duties may be modified to accommodate recipients. I think that was the only significant thing that I changed.
I think it had said, we might choose one or two, and then now it says.
Oh, right.
And I mean, it's minor, but the one or two felt like, maybe we'll pick one, maybe we'll pick two, maximum of two.
It says max of 2 this year.
Yeah.
And is that the right number, Sam?
That's fine.
This comes to 24, 25. So
Yeah, I saw.
Sorry about that.
You see it?
There.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
Sam, scroll fast. That's when we see these things.
It's right next
24,
to the
25,
vision.
right there.
See,
I see it. Thank you. Yep. I can fix that. Good eyeballs.
Sam has to scroll fast for us to see it.
Fix that right now. Outside of, please tell me more if there's more things.
In the meantime, is this going out pretty soon?
That's my plan, Monday.
And how are we marketing it?
I am getting together a list like last year of all of the guidance counselors here, Parker and Neshoba, Valley, also the class advisors for juniors and senior class at Littleton High School, also the National Honor Society advisor. There are a couple of others I have a list. And I sent them all an email outlining, like, here's the situation, here's what it is, little brief thing, here's the application, this is what it's due, please send it on to people, so.
Do you want to submit it to the high school
What's that?
principal letter?
Yeah, yeah, that's right, and yeah, I can do it on Facebook and things like that also, so parents see it. Yeah, after all, I did think I did all of that last year, and we still got 5, but 5.
I had 5, then we hadn't had 5.
Right.
So that's.
Yeah.
Large express.
What's that?
We also extended.
Oh, it's great, yes.
We're not doing that this year.
So,
Some thing students are like.
can someone who did it last year get it again, or is it in, I don't remember, does it,
It says in there, no.
okay.
Well, I don't know about application, but that's. Right?
Yeah, they sent it.
If they've already received it, it's just one time.
I'm changing that to 2025 or 2026 that will. Okay, I am gonna send this out on Monday. If anybody has any more feedback before then, please send it before then, otherwise it'll be Monday. Okay, thank you.
You copy. Us too.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
we have it there.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, moving on to library policies.
So the first one we will look at is, library usage, because what we did was we updated the library usage policy. We added language from area, we had created a patron code of conduct, which we don't need, and we found that from other area libraries. So we took some of that language and added it to the library usage. So.
Oh, I see, okay.
You should have tracked comments to track. Why not check how?
You did. I think there were others where we specifically said leave the comments.
Oh, the comments are shown. Um. So we will be adding the link to the barn cruises, but I thought there were comments about what we added.
I feel like none of these had. I don't know what changed on any of these.
That's what I'm saying. I thought that we had tractor changes and I'm not seeing that.
We did, there was one I tried to accept and you reminded me that we need to keep the.
So I don't know why it's not showing. Can you, mine is showing in a different color. So I can tell you what we added if, I don't know why, like it was. So we added under personal conduct. We are suggesting adding stealing, damaging, altering, or inappropriate use of library facilities. The smoking, vaping is also added. Shirts and shoes, walkways throughout the building and access to building materials should not be obstructed.
It's in a different color, it's in a different,
On mine is showing in a different
me
color.
too, yeah.
Okay. So,
It's wild, because I can't see that.
but we did, like, I don't know why it's not, there were comments in the, like add, solicitation on library premises, that segment is different. Added stealing, damaging, or altering.
That's duplicated.
Thank you. Okay. I will take up the second reference. Using personal electronic equipment such as computers and cell phones, that's new.
Wait, where?
That's,
Is that not new?
no, some of these things are not sentences.
Yeah.
There should have been bullet points,
Okay,
so,
but even so, it's just saying using it. It doesn't say don't use it. Or,
I think it's because it's supposed to be to ensure the library is welcoming and comfortable for all, using personal electronic equipment such as computers and cell phones in a manner that disturbs other library users. Such as loud audio
Shall
equipment,
not
playing
be-
listen without headphones. Yeah, they were missing some information from the way this is structured.
right,
that's for a couple of them, maybe it. Yeah. I just go through and make sure that they each say. You can't do these special duties.
To ensure that the libraries are welcoming, comfortable for all, all these, like, these things.
But even, I agree.
Yeah,
It's kind of different.
I see the word, I see the, yeah, I see the confusion.
It feels like this one maybe, I mean, we just approved a version of this one. I
Right,
know it's
yeah.
not this, but I don't feel any pressure to get this done. at
right,
this meeting.
so let's table this one.
Okay.
Um,
We
Governance,
did take out, right, we took out, there were a bunch of things like firearms and stuff.
well,
right,
that was from the code of conduct that we didn't copy over. So we are not doing anything right now to the usage and we will go back and.
And the firearms thing ends up under the town's bylaws anyway, so.
That's all I meant, like some
Yeah.
of the language that Sarah took from one to the other, we rejected.
I can see these better.
So now we're gonna look at the Friends policy. Which. Yes. There was just one change to the last paragraph, it was just changing the wording. Does anyone have thoughts on that?
No.
Everyone's good with the change? Stephanie, do you wanna make the change since it's your comment?
I move to approve the Friends of Urban Horror Library policy. As written.
I said it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Fine. Yes.
And then, aye.
Thank you, friends.
Who's
seconding that? Sarah. I don't.
governance?
What
Did I
changed on this one?
I don't remember anything changed. Did anything change on this one?
No, I don't think so.
It's just a review.
We were just reviewing because it was last reviewed it was last approved in 2022. So now we're going through and reviewing policies to make sure that they are still up to date. So we didn't have any changes on this.
Okay,
Great.
I did not see anything good.
Consider anyone? Okay,
I move to approve the governance policy.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. I do not see a link to the financial and gift policy.
Yeah, because the one I got, I couldn't access it,
Oh,
but Sarah sent out links.
She sent one out right before this meeting. And do you guys, it doesn't look like there are changes to it, it's just a comment.
oh, I see it, I see it.
Sam, do you see the question on the PDF I gave you?
I think specifically the question was because there were line items under the budget, is that inclusive, or should we say includes, but it's not, is not. Not limited to, so under library budget, the town library budget appropriation is 4, and then there are those 7 items. Is that everything, or should we put and but may include everything?
What's everything? Oh, e-content. Maybe.
It
Oh,
says
e-books.
e-books. Do you want that to say e-content?
Well,
instead?
MVLC also has e-content, but I guess that. No, it's fine. It's
And the trustees pay for some of like conferences and continuing ed and things like that, so.
fine.
So is that accurate? Is that what you use the budget for?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, the town really only pays for travel. Conferences continue and has been trustees.
Okay, so we should take that out?
Mhm.
Okay. Take out conferences and continuing ed? Should I say travel for professional development, and not just direct travel?
Well, does it, I don't think we should define it here, because the
Okay.
town is gonna end up approving or not.
Yeah, okay.
So.
Yeah.
We're talking about,
Should benefits also be included with staff and salaries, or does that count?
That should be under other town budget appropriations, right? Not the library budget, or is it it's not a, so I
Employee
think,
benefits. is-
oh yeah, it's there.
Yeah, all right.
Did you say take out the 4th bullet?
Take out after it says travel,
Okay,
so it should just say travel, yeah.
Are you adding anything under the other town budget?
that was already there. Yeah,
Okay.
then.
Anything else?
Let me go to Munis and check. Let me just make sure.
We did change in this paragraph, right? Amounts below $10,000. Didn't we change wording on that?
Yes, we added as determined by the trustees. For amounts below 10,000, because it read like we could do whatever we wanted to do.
It was really weird.
Yeah, I liked it, but it.
rated as, but also
All of a sudden
left us
stop.
open.
And I think Sarah was gonna ask too, or we talked about asking like. Should they be on a cycle, like this is
Yes.
September.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's finish this one and then I think that's a good discussion for us to have.
So that's for all that little break too. Feels like it's been- Feels like we as a group have doing policies since I came on, so like nonstop.
Well, they had been not done for a long time before then,
So
so.
it'd be nice on a schedule to, yeah.
Okay, any other questions on this policy before I make a motion?
Looks,
You all set?
yeah,
Okay. I move to approve the financial and gift policy.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Terrific. All right, thanks, everybody. So you want to bring that up there, Sarah or Stephanie or whoever? About a schedule?
You had said that every 2 years was fine.
Yes. I don't know if we have to vote on this or not, but I think 2 years is fine unless there's something that comes up that Sam brings up, or that something happens that we feel like we need to do.
And we can always reopen them more often, it's just,
Oh, yeah, we don't have
I
to
think
take 2 years, but if there's.
if we can find a pace that works so that over the course of 2 years, we're not doing like a whole bunch of them every meeting, like if we could spread it out so that we're doing 1 or 2 every meeting, it would be great.
Right, well,
I don't know how many we have.
We can go, we only have 6 more, and going forward, we can, we can spread it out more.
Yeah,
Because
and
we're trying to, like, we can, so there's one in February and then like 2 in August and then 2, so we can, so the next meeting, we can look at library usage again. And then the one that was done in February, and then we can wait, and there are 2 in August and then 2 in the fall. So we can try and group them just 2, and then
because today, for example, like I think there's been times like today we only actually ended up with 3, but there have been times when there have been 3 or 4. Where at your discretion, when you plan a schedule, feel free to not have those
Yeah,
be
it doesn't have to be
2 years, they
exactly
could be
2 years.
2 and a couple, or, yeah, just so that they end up being a couple.
Yeah, if we can plan on like 2-year schedule and it's
Sure.
on the top or something,
Yeah.
that's okay. As long, I mean, and again, we'll like, there's a policy that needs reopening sooner, whether staff brings it up or if something happens, we should do that, but
Yeah.
we're not tied to that
Mhm.
cadence. It's
And
just
then,
trying to make it manageable going forward, like the workload for policy people and all the everyone.
I think we're only gonna say one, but like, one of them looked like it was 2 years ago, because it was December 19th of 2023, and so
yeah.
those December ones were.
The December ones are.
Oh, yeah.
We can do it from the month.
Yeah. Also, and there might be ones that are bigger ones, the ones that are like, oh, these are the headache ones, that if you want to give it a little extra time for that, you know what I mean? Like, maybe we don't do one the month before, so if you give yourselves 2 months for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think there are important ones that perhaps should only be done alone with, like, don't put
Right.
meaty ones together. 'Cause
Like meeting rooms.
like meeting rooms and collection development and
The one was, what did you just do?
usage,
Patron
Patron.
not patron code of conduct, but the library. yeah.
library usage.
Right.
Those feel like ones that can be by
And then
themselves.
I think also there are some that need it more than other, like the internet policy probably is gonna be something that should be next year
Mhm.
versus.
Yeah.
Like, I think very few of them will need more than.
Yeah.
More frequently than 2 years, but maybe different.
Yeah, so as a committee, just do what feels right. You've been working with the most recently, you know, we're trying. The tricky ones and we'll need to change.
And I mean, a lot of these changes should be coming from Sam.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
suggestions of when it's not working, Sam needs to let us know.
Yep. All right, anything else about policies?
It's nice to be almost done.
I know. Thank you, everybody. All right, other business. Anyone have any other business?
I have some other business, sort of. Love Your Library Month is February, and so that's, we're all touting the benefits of the library and whatnot, but I was thinking it might be a good time for us as trustees to thank the other departments that support the library, even in small ways. So almost reverse Love Your Library, because they also help to make the library what it is. So yes, of course, we need to do something for our staff, but
This is in February.
February, it's Love Your Library Month, right? It's Valentine's, Love Your Library.
So even for the staff, this is something we have to really.
We should talk about,
Yeah.
how we want to thank the staff, because of course they make the library what it is. That's a huge thing. But in addition, there's other things, like I was just tracking the departments that we've had input from or with, and of course we have the TA and the select board. And the finance department, like the delivery of the Barth and any of the money transfers and all those things go through there. HR has been one of our frequent departments right now. IT helped with the installation of the computers, right?
Yeah, they're still doing stuff.
Still doing things. We have Eric and George maintaining our facilities now, which is amazing. The DPW is the snow removal and ground maintenance, and LELWD was the energy tracking for us. They still send me a monthly report about that. And they did the EV chargers, and then helping with the sewer backups was huge. And LCTVs, like seeing Sam monthly at this point. We have the fire department and police department in general who've helped with staff trainings and emergency plan and all those things. And it just feels like a thank you note with a small baked good or something would be acknowledging that you've supported the library and we are grateful for your support. Would be a good way to go. But I think that's also a lot to ask for one person to do. So I didn't know if others were interested in sharing the like bake a batch of cookies and bring it and write a thank you note and dropping it off at a department or two.
I'm not a baker, but I'm happy to write thank you notes and drop things off. Part of it.
And we can also like, I'm happy to buy the cookies, like whatever on my own.
I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm happy to make,
Okay.
or I confirm that as my children.
Cool. Even better, they get volunteer hours. I'll sign off on those.
Even if you can divide the, like, thank you notes and things like that, it's
Yeah.
writing like even just the 16 of the holiday cards, that was a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe,
17
yeah,
extra.
what's 17?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, so maybe I'll get some thank you notes and we can chat about who wants what
Yeah.
department.
If you have that spreadsheet, you can even put our names in.
Yeah, I actually have created, this is what I came up with as I was brainstorming, so we can throw in, left a column for who will deliver or do each department. So if there's one that you would love to do, please let me know.
Could you send that to us?
Yes.
Yes, we can. It's not to be right now. Yeah.
I'm gonna send it right
Okay. Considering that February is next month, and if we want to do something for the staff, that feels like something we should probably also talk about. Now.
now. Yes,
Um,
actually.
Anyone have any ideas?
Hey, Sam, how many new employees do we have right now? That-
Carlos starts on Wednesday. There's Abby that just started a few weeks ago. They're the two newest ones. And then Seth is the last one for that.
I think I've seen Jeff wearing the vest, so he's probably was here with the vest, right? We're trying to think of who's been here since best time,
Oh, since best time,
Since police.
please.
since police time. So it would be Mike doesn't have a police. Seth doesn't have one. Adam doesn't have one. Carlo doesn't have one. I think that's it.
Trustees too, right?
I was wondering, Megan?
Megan doesn't have.
Megan has. So I have
But you had a
extra
few.
places. We have a few extra in
Oh,
in the
okay.
box upstairs. So I've given Megan one.
Okay.
Okay.
I offered Megan one, but I don't think they weren't gonna give it to me.
Is it time for a new order or would there be potentially a different item that staff would like to? Cause it's been a couple years, like
Yeah.
it's been since the library opening.
Yeah, it's probably something you do like. I'm not sure what, but something think of swag. So
Yeah, what kinds?
maybe shirts, maybe like because we have the fleeces we got because it was cold.
Hmm.
Library. That's why we got it.
But do we not work now? I get it. Like, do you want t-shirts now instead? Like,
The t-shirts might. I don't know. I could talk to him about it, but no.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that'd
do
be
we
good,
want to
yeah.
appropriate some money and
Yeah.
if someone wants to coordinate that part?
Yeah. If there's a couple of people that you think would have good ideas about that on the staff,
Sure.
it doesn't have to be a surprise for whoever that person is, because I don't doubt it's better coming knowing what people want than trying to guess.
And I'm not tied to delivering it in February. Like, I don't think we need to, but if we, or we can do a maximum amount of money and
Yeah.
place the, like, appropriate money now. If we're doing that, I need to look at the parts.
I think we still have one more meeting before February 14th, so.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, if you guys get a idea together, maybe we can call this a thing.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Cool. Or it doesn't have to be apparel. Like, there's
Yeah.
something.
Mugs, because everybody needs more mugs, right? That's, yeah.
All expenses paid vacation.
Pedicure.
Spa.
Spa day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what you're going for, right?
Does anyone else have other business? Okay. Anyone have an update, a trustee update?
I'm working on my winter reading.
Excellent.
Bingo. I got two bingo cards yesterday. Yeah. So challenge them all.
All right. I think everybody knows this already, but I officially let Diane Ferry know that I am not running for reelection.
Oh, and I pulled papers to run for.
You have the plebeian.
I don't,
Okay.
So if
I can bring them next time.
anything needs to be done to help recruit a replacement, happy to help.
Aaron, thanks for doing it all
Yeah,
this.
I appreciate.
Two terms?
It's time to join Friends. It's where you retire to.
Right, I think I will do that. Just keep going to those meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already on my calendar.
Speaking of friends, they are doing their renewal.
Oh, right. I see what
That's
it says.
true. I have to do that.
In terms of, so Sarah's running, I know one other person who is running, if anyone does know, not that we need to make it a competition, right, but if anyone knows anyone that like really wants to do this, and please democracy is good, encourage them to run.
Do you have the information of the person who ran last time, who wasn't
Oh,
there?
what was, yeah,
Yeah, no, Richard, I haven't actually reached out to him.
Yeah.
Last time I messaged, he didn't get back to it. That was okay.
yeah,
Is
I
that
can follow up
running?
again.
yes.
I mean, I can let him know, but
Get on his poll papers, but Jen Hamilton's husband, Brad. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I do not have any updates either. Good, motion to adjourn,
A motion to adjourn. Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thanks everyone, see you February